If you're an entrepreneur, the secret to overcoming procrastination is right here in this video.
Hi, my name is Keala Kanae, and I wasn't always a nine-figure entrepreneur, winning awards, featured in the media, and speaking on the biggest stages in the world. Instead, I struggled with procrastination and self-doubt for over a decade. And self-help books, guru seminars, affirmations, productivity hacks, none of that worked for me in the long run. And I eventually found myself working in a coffee shop for minimum wage. Then I discovered a neuroscience-based framework that I call the Power Code, and it changed everything. Here's how it works. Everything that I'm about to share with you next comes from three fields of science: axiology, the science of values; teleology, the science of purpose; and neuroscience, which is how our brain works. Science shows that every human being is driven by an unconscious set of meta values. These aren't your typical values, things like faith, family, fitness, fun, or justice, equality, fairness. Instead, meta values are the lens through which we perceive and filter our reality. And what's most important about this is that it dictates how we invest our resources. Our primary resources are time, energy, and money. Wouldn't you agree that however we invest our time, energy, and money will ultimately become our destiny? So when we're pursuing goals that are in alignment with our values, we stimulate the brain's prefrontal cortex. This is a portion of the brain that's responsible for attention, focus, strategic thinking, and more. As a result, we experience discipline, fortitude, follow-through, clarity, certainty, poise, precision, and the things that are necessary to achieve our goals and dreams. However, when our goals are in conflict with our meta values, we stimulate the brain's amygdala, the survival mechanism, and their symptoms: procrastination, hesitation, frustration, self-sabotage, second-guessing ourselves, and just generally the things that get in the way of achieving our goals and dreams. Take a mom who has a high value on raising her children as an example. Does she struggle with the discipline to get them up in the morning and get them to school on time? Does she need appointments in her calendar to remind her to pick them up from school? Does she need an accountability partner in order to hold her accountable to get them to their soccer games and soccer practices? Of course not. And in fact, if you ask her about those children, she has a vision for their life. In other words, her mind can perceive more space and time because those children rank so highly in her values. But if you take that same mom and you ask her to start a business, what happens? She procrastinates, she hesitates, she freezes on sales calls, she's afraid of looking foolish, she second guesses herself constantly. Why? Because the survival mechanism has kicked in, and the survival mechanism needs immediate gratification. So if you find yourself struggling to do the things that you know that you need to do to achieve your goals, it's not because you need more productivity hacks, discipline, and motivation. Instead, it's simply a lack of alignment. And the good news is that all we need to do is make some simple tweaks to our goals to align them with our values, and boom. That's when you unlock what I call the power code. It's when your brain locks in on its target with unrelenting focus. And in case you need more proof that this works, we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and 4.9 stars on Trustpilot, because thousands of entrepreneurs have seen results with our framework where other seminars, coaching programs, and courses fail. And here's the truth: you've outgrown the courses, coaching, and traditional personal development world. So if you're ready to step beyond force, determination, and grit as a strategy, and you want to rely on flow instead, the Power Code is a science-backed solution that's proven to work for thousands of entrepreneurs who were once where you might be right now. So when you click the button that's somewhere around this video, you can register for my Purpose Power Profits Masterclass on the next page, so you can learn how to install the Power Code in your life and business. And it's not some boring, long-winded sales pitch either. Instead, it's packed with valuable content to help you decipher your unique meta values. You'll discover how to use it to tap into purpose so your work feels fulfilling, how to shatter the income ceiling that plagues most 6- and even 7-figure entrepreneurs, and how to rewire your code to weaponize your mind's artillery and focus it on any goal you choose. So if you know that you're capable of more and ready to close the gap between your results and your potential, can you really afford to miss this? Click the button that's somewhere around this video and lock in your seat for my 90-minute masterclass on the next page before it's too late. I'll see you there.